Hello and welcome to Him Tutorials. Once again, it's me Poonam and I am here to help you in your online study. The first chapter, crop production, we are discussing, and the subtopic agriculture practices are going on, and we have done up to the three practices, that is preparation of soil, sowing and selection of the seed, and the third one is the manuring, adding manure and fertilizer. We have done up to that. Now today we are going to learn about the fourth objective, and that is about the irrigation. So without much delay, let's start the fourth practice in the agricultural practices, and that is irrigation. So I write 4 number here because it is the fourth practice. So irrigation, we know that watering of the plants in the field at regular interval of time, that is called as irrigation. So what is going on? We are watering the plants in field at regular interval of time. And we know that in our country, many farmers are dependent upon the rain for the watering of the plants or watering of the crops. But the rain if the rain doesn't occur on the time, then the crop field wouldn't have much supply of water to it. So in that case, we have to go for the alternate, and that alternate is only the irrigation, okay, because the irrigated land is giving much more higher yield of the crops rather than the non-irrigated field of the crops, okay. So what is the purpose of this irrigation? Let's discuss first about that. So we are going to discuss about the first main point, and that is the purpose of irrigation. If we go for the purpose of irrigation, then the first and foremost thing for which the irrigation is required, that every plant has to do the physiological activities. What physiological activities? It has to go for the photosynthesis, okay, then for the transpiration, etc. So for these type of physiological activities, water is very much needed, okay. And the next, if we go for, then irrigation is very much required, because with the help of water, the plants absorb the nutrients from the water, from the soil, okay. Then as you can say, 90% of the weight of the plant, that is just made or you can say comprises water in it, okay. Then if we go for another thing, that water is also required to just maintaining the good yield, because if the water is there in the soil, then there is no harm of excess amount of, you can say, frost or excess amount of hot currents, okay. No harm by frost. Frost means in winter condition, if there is more frosting, more, you can say, icy conditions are there, or more, you can say, cooling conditions are there, they are not harming the what? They are not harming the crops, okay. And if there are hot currents, dry currents, they are also not harming if the water is fully lodged with the you can say soil is fully lodged with the water. Then it will not allow, irrigation will not allow the easy soil erosion. So these are some of the facts which shows that water is very, very important, and especially the irrigation is very important to go for the good yield of the crop which we are sowing in the soil, okay. Now next is the main thing, is that what are the sources of irrigation? If we go for the sources of irrigation, then there are a number of sources like wells, pond, lake, then dam, then tube well, and rivers. So there are number of sources which are present for the irrigation purpose, especially in our country. Okay, now we will see about that what are the two methods for which we can go for the process of irrigation. The first method, the first and foremost method, is the traditional method. It is the old method. Okay, and in this old method, number of practices were there, like moat, which is called as pulley system. Okay, then chain pump is there, then dhekli and rahat. So no doubt that these all methods which were done by the farmer, they are using very less amount of energy, but after they are using very more amount of labor of the farmer, but giving very less results, very less yield, because it requires a lot of hard work. Okay, so all those systems are very old systems, very traditional systems, and just when the agriculture practice starts, from that time to up to this time, these all practices are very you can say normally done by the farmers to grow the crops in the fields. And in these systems, tube wells are used, and from the tube wells the water are given to the canals, and from the canals it will pumped out into the crop lands, or you can say into the field. And to pump that water into the field, there is utilization of biogas, electricity, diesel also. Okay, so after spending so much of expenditure on the field, still the yield is not so much that it could withstand by the good profit to the farmer. So to look for that, or to get rid of for that, the farmers have tried to go for the new methods, and they are the modern methods of the irrigation. They are the modern methods of the irrigation. So modern methods of irrigation. The first modern method of irrigation is furrow irrigation. And in furrow irrigation, what happens? Small canals are formed in a big field. If this is a big field, then in this big field small canals are formed, and these canals are just attached with each other, and they are providing here the crop plants are there, and these canals are just having the water, and when the water is there, then water reach to each and every corner of the field. And it's very good mode of irrigating the field, because it is providing water to almost all the plants. Okay, so the first is the furrow irrigation. Second one, and mainly the furrow irrigation is done in those areas where we grow vegetables and we grow fruits. Okay, and the second one is the basin irrigation. In basin irrigation, as there is a large land, and in this large land, what is going on in it? Just the plants are sown, and this all the thing, these are the plants, and dots are just representing the water. Okay, so all over the field is filled with the water, and we are just planting the small plantlets into the land which is full of water, and it is mainly practiced in the paddy. It is mainly practiced in the paddy for the good yield, which is also called as rice. Okay, now the third method in the modern irrigation, which is very much loved by the farmers to go for, and that is the sprinkler irrigation. And this irrigation system is mainly used in the orchards, okay, then in the gardens, mainly of fruits, okay, fruit gardens, fruit trees are where they are grown. So in the orchards and gardens, this sprinkler irrigation is practiced. And what is done in it? In this sprinkler irrigation, long pipes are channelized, okay. If these are the big trees, then long pipes are channelized, and these long pipes has got this kind of sprinklers. And what is going on there? The main water is supplied by the main pipe, okay, and these you can say lines are just connected with each other, and there is a higher this sprinkler is somewhat height from the ground, and it is having a rotating nozzle. What is it is having? Rotating nozzles, okay, and these rotating nozzles are just rotating out, and these are sprinkling water just like the rain is going on, okay, just like an rain is going on. So the each and every drop of the, you can say, water is fall on the plant like the raindrops are fall on the as like the raindrops are fall at the time of the rain, okay. So this is also very good method, and it is also very normally nowadays practiced in many regions of our country, okay. And the fourth method is the most you can say commercial method and most expensive method also, but it is specially used in those areas where the water content is very less, and it is very important method because it's help in water conservation. It is the need of time, okay, it is the need of hour, that water conservation is very much important for us to go for this time. So this method is very much expensive, but on the other hand it is very much useful also, and it is the drip irrigation. Okay, you have seen I have written in bold letters because really it's very expensive method, but on the other hand it is very useful also. And main thing is that it doesn't allow the water wastage, okay, it doesn't allow the water wastage. What is going on here? If these are the plants, then in these plants the small channels are formed near the root, and in the channels or in the pipes near the root there are small holes, okay, and from these holes the water is just you can say drop by drop given to the base of the plant, that is root of the plant, and it does not allow the wastage of water. Also it is very helpful in those areas where the water is scarce, water is very less, so it is boon for the agriculture nowadays to the farmers, okay. So these are the you can say methods which are normally practiced in India. Some are the traditional methods and some are the modern methods. So before recapping, I just want to tell you one more thing, and that is water lodging. Water lodging. Now what is it, water lodging? Water lodging means large amount of water accumulates in an area where the agriculture practice have been done. So what is happening in the water lodging? If there is a agricultural land and the crop is just or the crop is just grown in that area, what happens? Due to some natural calamity, the flood occurs, and due to that flood there is accumulation of large amount of water in that area. Okay, now what will happen? It will lead to damage all the plants which are grown there. How they are damaging? First, they are damaged because due to the large amount of water accumulation, the air supply, the oxygen supply to the roots of the plants, that is totally cut off. There is no oxygen, so it is very tough for the plant to respire. Secondly, it leads to accumulation of large amount of salts. And if the salty nature of the soil occurs, then it will again lead to scorch the, you can say, the plants, and the plant yield is not good. And third thing is that it will lead to decay the plants, because if the water content is so much there, then the fibers of the plant, they just start losing out and decaying, and bacterial infections and microbial infections occur on the roots of the plants, and if the roots are damaged, automatically the crop plants are also damaged. So let's recap very quickly that what we have done today. We have gone for the fourth practice, and that is the irrigation. What is irrigation? Irrigation is the watering of the plants in a field at regular interval of time. In our country, mostly the farmers are dependent upon the rainfall, but if the rainfall doesn't occur at right time and at regular intervals, then we have to go for the options, and that option is what? That option is the irrigation. And in irrigation, there is number of benefits of irrigation. What are they? They are very much important for the physiological activities, because water is important for the photosynthesis, for the transpiration, for the ascent of sap, and number of activities are there. Okay, then plant absorb nutrients with the help of water. Then 90% of the plant weight is made up of what? Water. Then there is no harm if there is water is just present in the soil, then due to the frost and due to the hot currents, there is no harm to the you can say plant. Also, the moist soil helps in good growing of the plant, and you can say that seed only germinate in the moist soil. Okay, then what are the sources of irrigation? Sources of irrigation are pond, lake, dam, tubewell, rivers, and many other things, natural things are present. And there are two types of method, traditional methods in which moat is practiced, chain pump is there, dhekli is there, rahat is there, and these all were very much labored method, okay, but the yield is very less. Then the modern man has to go for some modern techniques in which, no doubt, expensive, they are all expensive techniques, but still they are giving good yield of the crop also. And the first one is the furrow irrigation, in which the furrows are made, and mainly it is practiced in vegetables and fruits, okay, for to grow the vegetables and fruits. And the second is the basin irrigation, in which the whole field is just submerged in the water, and just the plantlets, or you can say the seedlings, are grown in that, or transferred from the nursery to that big field, and that is practiced with the paddy, or we can say at rice. And the third one is the sprinkler irrigation, in which some long tubes are just raised from the you can say bottom of the land, and they are having a rotating nozzles in it, and when the water pressure comes with the pressure, then those nozzles start rotating, and just the water is sprinkled out. The water is just sprinkled out like a rain. Okay, so it is just the copying of the rain, you can say, okay, rainfall. And the last and the most convenient method and most best method of today's time, because it helps in water conservation mainly, it does not lead to wastage of water, and that is the drip irrigation. It is the most expensive. It is expensive from all the types of irrigation, but it is very helpful because it helps in conserving the water. It helps in just giving benefits to the crop more and more, because each drop of the water is utilized, each drop of the water is just you can say received by the roots of the plants, and then the roots will grow more deeper and deeper into the soil. And if the anchorage of the plant is good, it means the soil is having water and minerals. The water and minerals are also absorbed in good quantity, the proteins are formed, everything, every plant material is having a good content in it, okay, and then it will lead to the good crop yield. Okay, so this is all about your irrigation method, and I hope that you understood all the things very nicely, because I have just chosen one practice today. So up to our next video, please keep watching, keep learning. Thank you so much.